Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to J&J's Maintenance and More, a channel that just does anything and everything that looks cool or interesting, whatever that happens to come up that we want to mess with. Right now we're working on a part 4 series of disassembly of an old Traxxas Maxx 3.3. I bought this in 2008. If you find that what I'm doing interesting, you can go back and look at the other 3 videos before this. I think that this video here, I'm going to try to get it. I think I'm going to try to get it the rest of the way torn apart for the purposes of then getting things cleaned up and starting to really identify what parts that I need to get for this thing. So I know for a fact that I need to replace most of the screws. I'm replacing control arms here just strictly because this thing was run through the desert in Bahrain over and over and over again, and the underneath of it is just tore up. I mean, it's scraped. I'll probably keep these parts for down the road in case something gets broken. Depends, I don't know. We'll worry about that later on. But right now, we got the rear end tore apart. We had most of that done before. In the last video, in this one here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take these bulkheads off here. I'm going to loosen them up enough to get this the rear end out of here. This rear end, I'm about 99% sure it's going to have to either get new bearings in it, or it's going to either need to get new bearings in it, or just a whole new rear end, depending. I have a brand new one here. I have a couple of good used ones here. We may just put those in here when we go back together, and then I'll get the parts to rebuild this stuff later on. So these bulkheads here, this is called bulkhead on these cars. These ones here appear to be good, as far as they're dirty, of course, but they're not cracked. This front one up here, I can show you, or if you look at some other videos, I've pointed to where the front one that's going to have to be replaced has broken. Cracked. It's not broken the whole way off, but it's close. So I'm going to pull this aside and pull that aside. This goes here. These will come off, and I'll clean them up real good before we go back together, for sure. I'm not sure if this is going to come off of here easily, or if I'm going to have to soak it. If you look at this up close, it's pretty rough. Got a lot of rust in and around the bearings, the sand, a lot of sand and stuff over there in the desert, and this thing just got run over there. There was 3 of us stationed in Bahrain, and this was kind of how we passed the time over there, was racing little monster trucks. So what I'm going to do, this is out, and I'm going to decide later whether I'm going to put bearings in it, rebuild it, or use another one. But what I'm going to do in the meantime, and this might seem crazy, but I'm going to spray a little PB blaster on here so that I can get that collar off of there later on, hopefully, without any problem. So now that we got the back pretty much ready to be cleaned up real good, I'm just going to put this screw over here. I'm going to put new screws in this when it goes back together, but we'll just keep it so it stays together for right now. So I have a box of stainless steel screws here, so most of this stuff will get replaced. Screws, the hardware, a lot of it's rusty. So what I'm going to do up here now is I'm going to go ahead and get these shocks disconnected from the lower control arm. Come over here. Once we get these out of the way and I set these shocks aside, I'll show you where this bulkhead's cracked in the front. Now all these screws, like I had said before, I'm going to take them all out and replace them because they're just rusty. You can see, if you can see in there, they're just rusty. So, like I said, this was ran, the last time this was ran was in 2009. I come home from Bahrain in February of 2009. I run it a couple of times here with my grandkids, and then it's just been sitting here rotting away. So it's kind of funny because I rebuilt this 1968 Mercury Cougar here over the last year, last winter. Back here you can see it's all done. A couple minor things. I got to get the steering column rebuilt in it, but I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to get a little project going here, and I really didn't want to spend the money on another car. I mean, I can get this thing up and running and get the grandkids and the great-grandkids now running with it, you know, for a few $100. Vice, you know, thousands. You can see in the end here, this Allen wrench doesn't want to fit in here. I have been cleaning and cleaning and cleaning the freaking sand and goop out of that, and it's just not wanting to come out good enough to get that Allen wrench in there, so we're gonna go this route since we're putting new stuff in anyways. Little bent. I'll tell you, we used to race these things over there. There was 3 of us over there. We used to race them. And I'll tell you what, we had a blast doing it. But boy, did these things take a beating. I think we spent just as much time fixing stuff as we did beating it up in the desert. But you know, there wasn't a whole lot to do over there on our off time. So this was what we did. So we got that out of there. So we got those out of the way. Now we'll come over to here. I don't know how well these are going to come apart. We'll either get it apart or we won't. But this is the front end because 4-wheel drive. And it doesn't seem too bad, but this bulkhead's got to come off of here. If you can see right here, it's cracked pretty good. So that's kind of what I'm looking at when I want to fix things like this. As I'm going through this, I want to make sure that anything that's messed up gets replaced. Right, even though, like I said, down to these screws. Can see that one's in there good. That's why I want to go through this too and replace all these screws that are hosed up, because then if something breaks later on down the road, and it does, you get going out there with it, especially with the kids running it and everything, you get it, you hit something, you know, and boom, the next thing you know, you've broken a bulkhead or something like that, like this one here is. And you want it to be easy. You want it to be easy to get apart. You don't want to fight it like I've been fighting this one the whole way through. So I'm looking for this here. This one's going to be stubborn. I'll probably have to soak it down with some PB Blaster or something to get this sand and crud out of it so I can get it loose. I'll probably put some in there tonight and leave it soak overnight. This one doesn't really have to come out because this bulkhead is fine. I just want to be able to get that out of there so I can put a new screw in there when it's time, so I'm not in a hurry. So, give it one more little shot here. Yeah, I'm not going to don't want to strip that out. I'll soak it later. In the meantime, we'll get this one apart and get this rear end out of there. There's the broken bulkhead. Here's this rear end out of here, which it seems to be pretty messed up too, so. Alright, so that's about it. I'm pretty much disassembled. For as far as I'm going to disassemble, I'm going to take some more things apart and we'll put some new stuff on it, clean some stuff up, and the next round of videos will be probably me starting to put things back together. So I hope that this is helping you out. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button, and we'll move forward with it, and hopefully it's helping you out some. Y'all have a great day.